Who are you? What are the degrees of your true self? And this is where your soul plays a key role, because your soul is the spark, is the extension of the true supreme God. And your soul is that which takes on these various vehicles of consciousness. When you come to earth, you get a physical body. But who is beneath the skin? Who has taken on a physical body? So that's where we begin to realize that it is the soul who takes on a physical body, who borrows the etheric body, astral body, even the higher self, the light body, is borrowed by the soul. Because you are neither the higher self, you're not the light body. Now, if we start to use the Advaita language, who is the one who borrows all of these? So, Advaita Vedanta, unfortunately, especially the Neo-Advaita Vedanta or the Western non-duality, has largely forgotten and disregarded the soul. And they said that if you realize the light of awareness, or even below, if you just realize the space of emptiness, nothingness, you have already become liberated and freed, and you don't have to care about anything else, because everything supposedly drops away and you are only this non-dual beingness, which is a worst case, or a little bit better case, you are the light of awareness of the self. But in reality, there is a good part of it, which is a half-truth, that yes, you do need to realize those steps, but the other truth which has been moved out, just like Bible has been largely re-edited for a purpose of control. So the same way, even these certain yogic lineages have removed the essence of the soul and the knowledge of the true supreme God. So what happens then to those poor yogis and spiritual students and spiritual teachers is that they come to realize the non-dual beingness, but that is only 1/3 or even less of the journey. And now they believe that that's it, that they're free now. They're free from duality right now. Yes, they can experience the temporary freedom from duality right now. Just like the same analogy that if you do good things, you will go to heaven. So when you do good things, you do go to heaven, and you have a visa in heaven. And this visa has expiration date, 60 years or 600 years in heaven. But when the visa expires and your good deeds, good merits have expired, what happens in reality is that you are sent back to continue the cycles. So the same way, when you realize the non-dual beingness, you experience a temporary freedom from duality. But you have neither realized any true degree of God, neither you have liberated the soul, and therefore it is only a third or less of the actual spiritual journey. And what happens to this being who realizes the non-dual beingness is that when the body drops, the attention is returned back to the soul. In the non-dual beingness, the attention was absorbed in the non-dual beingness beyond duality, which was nice experience. But when the body drops, the attention, where does it go? It goes back to the soul. And the soul itself still carries karma. It has not been liberated. It has only had the experience of the non-dual beingness. So what happens is that, well, there is next lifetime to keep working on it. So this is a largely unspoken truth. And in the afterlife, that the soul is sent back again where the karma pulls it down. And I wanted to emphasize in this satsang that we do not stay halfway. We do not assume that something is ultimate, while in reality is only 1/3 along the way. And therefore we need to have this knowledge. This knowledge is called divine Vidya, divine knowledge. This knowledge transcends the cosmic knowledge. It transcends the universal knowledge. It transcends the atmic wisdom that Lord Rama was instructed by Yogi Vasishta. Divine Vidya transcends supra-universal knowledge, where the higher lineages are of much deeper spiritual paths, the hidden paths, we may say, that only very few beings ever have privilege to come to know. And divine Vidya explains the entrance into the true divine region. And there are 6 major divine regions. And within them, there are also 7 major divine paths. So therefore, this knowledge is the highest knowledge. It is the mystical knowledge. At the entrance of the Greek temple, it is written, "Know thyself." And therefore, in the East, yogis question, who is the self? Who am I? And the same way the bhakti yogis inquire into who is the loving God supreme. And they try to meditate on it and feel the love of God, surrender devotion to this highest, true, supreme God. Therefore, divine Vidya, divine knowledge, transcends all the cosmos, all the universes, and even the heavens, and even the highest universes. Yogis say that you are God to the extent that you have opened God within you, and that your soul has cleared the karma below, have regained its lightness, brightness, freedom from the lower entanglements. You're God to the extent that you know the ever higher nature and degrees of God. And as we rise above and above all the boundaries and separations, melt away, dissolve. Because in reality, it is the God Supreme, the Satpurush, who extends itself into Par Brahm, into Lord Brahm, into the multitude of individual souls. And all of them are extensions of this one great Supreme God. So in reality, nothing is ever separate. For even the experience of separation is just another feeling passing by, and your perception is what determines your experience. Your attention is what gives you the experience. And as you become adjusted to the higher light supreme, your attention becomes more familiar with the higher states of God. All the planes of existence are either emanations or creations within the light of God. And when you become liberated, when the karma is cleared, you not only can unite your attention with the light of God at whichever degree, but you are also no longer bound by any dual, non-dual, cosmic, universal, supra-universal experiences. So the soul, as an extension of God, becomes a free agent in the vastness and beauty of God's emanations and creations. Emanations are those that do not perish. Creation is that which is perishable, even if it lasts for billions of years. It still goes through a cycle and dissolves at the end. So this is the beauty of your soul and God within the soul. But when you reach the divine, when the karma is cleared, you feel that great freedom. May this light of God be with you, and may you never stop and continue your upward journey, upward path, because when you are truly on this path divine, your soul will not want to do anything else but to keep working on it. Because you will realize that all the meditations, all the understandings, all the realizations, and all the absorptions in different lights, in different states of God, are only experiences in reality. Even awareness is ever present, so to speak, experience. But when you work on soul liberation, your soul will feel such an immense joy and utmost sense of importance that nothing will get in the way anymore. Everything becomes secondary, for the soul is drinking from the cup of divine nectar, and nothing else compares in any universes to the abode of divine Amrita, nectar, and bliss. And whenever you're ready, you will feel the deeper calling, a deeper willingness to walk the path divine. Until then, life tests you. Various distractions may come along. You become what we call a camper. You start to camp along the way. So, therefore, as many beautiful Sadhgurus say, no amount of wealth, no amount of beauty, no amount of jewels, no amount of any experiences ever possible on earth or on the higher subtle planes ever come even close to the true God Supreme and the freedom of the soul.